Did you know that very often ballet's classics are reimagined, sometimes to beautiful or interesting effect, and sometimes to their detriment? Welcome back to another episode of What's on Stage, where we take a deeper look at the ballets being performed this season. Today, we're going to take a look at the grand classic Swan Lake using one of my favorite new versions, English National Ballet's Swan Lake in the Round. Swan Lake is one of the most beloved ballets in the world. Although Nutcracker, especially in the US, is a competitor, worldwide, Swan Lake takes the cake. Swan Lake in the Round is spectacular because it not only keeps the beauty and the symmetry of the original, but it expands on them and literally offers more angles and more perspectives for the audience to enter into its beauty. You can actually see this version live next month at English National Ballet. And if you can't get to a live show or you want to see it more than once, Marquee TV has it streaming right now. There aren't very many ballets that hold Swan Lake's mythic weight. Weeping tragedy, its timeless score, its unforgettable imagery, flocks of ballerinas in white, the moonlit lake, the tortured prince have made this one of the most enduring works in the classical rep, but its path to icon status was not a smooth one. Swan Lake originally premiered in 1877 at the Bolshoi Theater with a special score commissioned from Tchaikovsky. It was the composer's first ballet, and at the time, its reception by the critics was lukewarm at best, if you can imagine that. Critics struggled to understand Tchaikovsky's rich orchestral music, which was a far cry from the lighter, more decorative ballet scores that people were used to. And Tchaikovsky died in 1893, never knowing the ballet's eventual fate as a massive world hit. The turning point for Swan Lake came in 1895 when choreographer Marius Petipa and his assistant revived the ballet at the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg. And these two choreographers ultimately shaped the definitive version of Swan Lake, marrying classical form with deep romanticism and psychological nuance. This production starred the Italian virtuosa Pierina Lenani as Odette Odile, and this dual role quickly became a litmus test of a ballerina's range, requiring softness and vulnerability in the role of Odette, and steely precision and seductiveness in the role of Odile. Fun fact, the Black Swan pas de deux, introduced in the 1895 version, featured the famously grueling 32 fouettes, a bravura sequence which is now iconic in ballet history. The story is deceptively simple. Prince Siegfried, pressured to marry, decides to take his mind off things by going hunting in the forest at night, where he runs into Odette, who's really a queen from a land far, far away, and she's under an evil spell by the sorcerer Rothbart, so that she and all of her handmaidens are swans by day and women by night. And the spell can only be broken by the promise of true love. Siegfried promises her his love, and Rothbart deceives Siegfried by putting a spell on his daughter, Odile, so that she'll look just like the Swan Queen Odette, and they fool Siegfried into breaking his promise. Tragedy unfolds, and depending on the production, the lovers either die together or they're reunited in an afterlife, and then there is a version where they prevail and it has a happy ending. But most of them, it's with a tragic ending. Fun fact, the dual role of Odette Odile is widely considered to be the most difficult role in the classical rep, although it has competition, due to its enormous technical demands, but also its emotional demands. The legendary prima Margot Fonteyn said that Swan Lake was the only ballet that she couldn't dance twice in one day. Swan Lake helped to elevate the role of the composer. Tchaikovsky's lush symphonic score showed that ballet music could be as emotionally compelling as any opera or concerto. Over the next century, Swan Lake became a touchstone for choreographers and companies throughout the world. It has been faithfully preserved in traditional versions, while also reimagined in modern ones. Think Matthew Bourne's Swan Lake, also available on Marquee TV, where the swans are all men. and it has been quoted endlessly in popular culture, including film, figure skating, animation, fashion, and continues to draw audiences not only for its beauty and its melancholy, but for what it represents, the high drama of ballet at its purest. Really, more than a ballet, Swan Lake is a living ritual that is performed, revered, studied, and reinvented. Do you have a favorite version or a favorite dancer in the role? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this and you want more great dance content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and sign up for my free Substack for more videos, podcasts, and articles. Thanks for watching. I'm Cynthia Dragoni, The Dance Lens.